Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for coming out. Let's hear it for Hillary Keel right now. Well, we have a beautiful program for you today. We're going to be passing the hat, and we managed to get the donation button to help her with her bills. And we're going to have a few readers and a little song, and we're asking, and her friends will, be talking about her some. So I'm here to introduce my good friend Greg Masters, who made the beautiful program and was a dear friend of Hillary's. And a little known fact about Greg is he invented the Teddy Bear School of Poetry. Please welcome my good friend Greg Masters.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and helping us with this good effort. It's been shocking to see how loved Hillary is. Yeah. Okay. You done heckling? So I was privy to a manuscript that Hillary had been working on the last couple of years, and it concerns her transporting back in time to 17th century Delft to nudge Vermeer's wife out of the house and kind of take over. So there's other things in the manuscript, her current life, but this is one poem from that manuscript. A woman of the 17th century. I see my hands. I handle powders, liquids, oils, brushes to canvas. I see my hands with gold ring, garnet on ring finger, gold chain dangles cameo pendant on my chest, fitted with buckled shoes of sturdy leather. An apron protects skirt and blouse. I am substantial. Walk down wooden hallway, through tiled alcove to workshop. I measure powders, lapis lazuli, and cinnabar we purchased to dissolve. Mix and stir, test on wood, on canvas we have stretched. Knowing I can adjust this pigment, investigate and play. I paint layers, I layer canvas, I stir, mix and swish. I am a painter. We are painters with hands. My collaborator and I prepare the canvas, create depth and space there. I layer, I dab and add. The smell of oils, the powdered vermilion, imprint tips of fingers. My collaborator and I, we live in paints. We met in the place where colors are produced. We explored, had outings in a boat. Now we look after each other. Our work, we collaborate. On paintings. We collaborate on children, had one, then another, and another. Can't stop, but I nurse them and teach them. We can't stop. We train them to work with paints, with the canvas, the green layers. I bear them, he dresses them. I nurse them a long time. This is best. So there are pauses between, but we can't stop, like the paintings, one after another. Thank you. People on YouTube, we're here to raise money for Hillary and her family. There's a poem I wrote last week. Everything but you. I'm watching the waves from a hotel terrace. The noontime sun washing out some detail in the crests, a void at the horizon. When I can, I try to tune in to the agreeable crashing of waves repeating endlessly, the gulls passing by and echoes in the wind. The veil over what we dare not utter withdrawn as we step into a new world. Description, not near enough an antidote. Everything but you is a distraction, Hillary.
work about Vermeer. That's really something to have for us. Our next reader has been known as alternately as the Lion or the Scourge of Philadelphia. Please welcome Peter Bushyeager.
He didn't pronounce it right. It's Philadelphia. Philadelphia Eagles. I met Hillary through a writing group, and she instantly elevated it through her enthusiasm and, I think, mysticism, okay? And this manuscript that Greg is referencing is all about traveling in time and space. A lot of it to 17th century Netherlands and Vermeer and his wife Katerina. And these poems are not just documentation. I mean, Hillary goes through a process and she's there. And in some instances, she is Katerina. So I'm going to read a poem that kind of indicates the process that she went through when she wrote these poems. And it's called Night Travel. Deep breath, dreaming awake. I walk through white apartment. I sleep in my kitchen, in my living room. I'm dreaming, I'm awake. I wander through, breathing in my bed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, breathe out. I walk in bathroom, ceramic tub with claw feet. I walk in living room, back around corner. I see myself asleep on mattress in kitchen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, breathe out. I cross the room to open door, pass myself, step out to hall, climb stairs to heavy iron, no entry, but I push open to rooftop, walk to ledge where I climb up, balance, deep breath, then take off, flying over hill of Sunset Park, the trees, because I can, over Greenwood Cemetery and out to East River and then Harbor, then up over Lower Manhattan, because I can. I soar over waves, ripples of light, prism windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, breathe out. Am I dreaming? Am I awake? Am I dreaming? Am I awake? I return, zap, see myself sleeping in kitchen. Refrigerator, loud hum. I walk to corner, hall, altar. I walk into living room, to sofa, chest of drawers, desk, piles of textbooks. I graze fingers over notebook, lesson plans, peer out back window to fire escape, to tips of trees in Greenwood Cemetery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, breathe out. What needs to happen here? I am dreaming, I am awake. Am I dreaming? Am I awake? I'm awake that I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming, I'm awake, and go back to corner table altar, lacquer wax and river shells, and great-grandmother's plates I pick up, running foxes painted onto, deep and gold rim. Sit down, I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, breathe out. I am awake that I am dreaming. A postcard of The Art of Painting by Vermeer. The girl in blue with laurel wreath. Your back to the viewer, painting. I see your back to me and I leap inside to see your face. And it's changed. Your focus, the look. You're wearing woolen coat. Floorboards of wood are cold. Blue fabric and trumpet. The wreath is dried grapevine on table. The mask and golden book. You were pleased with colors I prepared. You look up to smile, to say so. You say, the paints are working well. I smile back from lead-paned window. I gaze into Delft, the busy streets, the rooftops from the window. But this room needs heating, and there are potatoes to boil. The children are quarreling. Mother needs the apothecary. I want a minute to breathe with you, to see ultramarine. Is there enough? Yes, plenty. I see to and attend, breathe the air, and delft from second floor, but leave and get back to Sunset Park. Bed, asleep, kitchen.
And now, Lydia Cortés, one of our co-presenters for this fun celebration today. Lydia Cortés is going to introduce Sharon Mesmer.
Sharon Mesmer. This is the newest part of the script that I hadn't gotten yet. But I couldn't introduce a more lovely, wonderful friend than Sharon Mesmer. And to top it off, she's a wonderful poet. And to top that off, she was a wonderful friend of Hillary's, as I think everybody in this room is. And we're very happy to have you here, Sharon, to honor her, to honor all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, except I'm not going to live up to it, but whatever. Okay, so I met Hillary in maybe 2018, 2019 through Greg, because they came to an event I did with Andre at the Romanian Cultural Institute. And then we discovered that her house in Pond Eddy is about 45 minutes away from my house in Shahola. And once we discovered that, we became like buddies. So we had dinner a few times. She came over to our place for 4th of July. I took her out for her birthday in August. And it's shocking to think that in August she already had, you know, this circulating within her, but didn't know it yet. She found out maybe a month later. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to read a poem by her, because the poem that I'm going to read has a little audience participation at the end, as you all know, because I harangued you before the reading. So I'm going to read the poem, and the audience participation comes at the end, and then I'll just signal everybody, and you'll know when it comes up. Aegis, like A-E-G-I-S. Aegis for Hillary Keel, with half a line by Frank O'Hara. And by the way, thank you, Lydia, for that great introduction. Hillary Keel, I love you. Get up. Do you need help getting up? Let me help you get up. We were just sitting here on the porch of your house in Pond Eddy, Pennsylvania, talking about how this is the second summer of the pandemic and we're sick of it. And all of a sudden you fell down. What the hell happened? Wait, what is that thing on your chest? That thing wasn't there before you fell down. Come over here in the light so I can take a look. Holy crap, it's Medusa's severed head, complete with wriggling snakes. Hillary, how did Medusa's head get on your chest? Wait, you didn't fall just now, did you? You were struck by Athena's father Zeus's lightning bolt, weren't you? Wait, is that an aegis? The pelt? Wait, sorry, I lost my place. The pelt upon which Athena placed Medusa's head after Perseus cut it off? I believe it is, because if I know pelts, which, okay, I don't, that's a goat skin. How did you get that aegis? Did you petition the gods? Did you lob someone's head off? You might have, but then again, sometimes the gods just, do stuff. Like in the Homeric hymn to Demeter, when Metanera says, "We mortals are forced, though it may hurt us, to bear the gifts of the gods." I know you know this, because you're a teacher of fairy tales, Hillary, German fairy tales. And even though the aegis is associated with Greek mythology, it appears in Norse mythology too. That dwarf who got turned into a dragon bore upon his forehead the aegis helm, which may have been an actual helmet or just a magical sign with a rather poetic name, related to an Old Norse word meaning, get this, Hillary, terror. Okay, I'm about to make a pretty tenuous connection here because I have no idea where this poem is going, but bear with me. In some contexts, terror isn't a bad thing. Think of Rilke's line in the Duino Elegies. Beauty is nothing but the beginning of terror we are only just able to bear. I wish I could pronounce that in German, but I can't. Later he says, every angel is terrible. But, and here's what I'm getting at, terror wasn't always terrible. A long time ago, it was terrific. The root of terror is a Proto-Indo-European word that means to make afraid. See, Hillary, I did my research. The source of which is a Sanskrit word which means to tremble. By 12th century Latin, terrere, to fill with fear, became the root of terrific. Thereafter, terrific took on our modern meaning of amazing, impressive, excellent, splendid. All this etymology because I think you're terrific, Hillary. And because even while this terrifying thing is happening to you, this whole bolt from the blue thing and then wham bam snakes on a goat skin, I can imagine other kinds of terrific magical or mythological things happening to you. Yeah, you there, in your quaint cotton apron on the porch of your sweet house in Pond Eddy, Pennsylvania, where I just taught my first Zoom class of the 2021 summer semester because you let me come over because our electricity went out because lightning hit a tree. See, 2 bolts from the blue today, Hillary. The gods must be busy. Anyway, the fearsome aegis is now upon you, and both of us are wondering what you're supposed to do with it. I have a theory. While the aegis has a horrible history, especially if you're Medusa, it also means being under someone's aegis, like under their protection. By the looks of things, you're under your own aegis. But you're under our aegis too, Hillary, and by our, I mean everyone who's going to be in a room approximately 1 year from now on October 22nd, 2022, at the Tompkins Square Library, gathered there to honor and support you because of this whole bolt from the blue. How do I know this, Hillary? Because all poets are seers. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Right now, on your porch, in this particular indigo hour, just before summer hands August off to fall, neither one of us know about any of this stuff yet. You and I have no idea what's coming. That soon you will forest without a map, sky without a horizon, fire call your seed sowing in an unfamiliar landscape. You will need to be fearsome. You will need to activate your fearsome trans-Appalachian wiseacre invincibility, your secret Goomba self-maternity, and be under your own aegis. But my psychic abilities are telling me you won't be alone with your lightning bolt under that snaky, goatish coat. You will be under the aegis of all your friends in that room, in that library, on an island, off the east coast of North America, on a Saturday in October. And this is what we will be saying to you. Hillary Keel, we love you. You are home. You are whole. No, say that thing. Say the thing. Okay, say it one time all together.
Hillary Keel, we love you. You are whole. You are home.
Thank you.
I need prompting, amongst other things, but Wanda Phipps, another amazing poet who we go back a long time ago. You asked me to read on a strip at Sarah Roosevelt, that little strip, over 20 years ago. Wanda Phipps is another amazing poet who we love, who Hillary loved, who loved Hillary. She would be so amazed and overwhelmed to be here with all of us and to know that you're here as well. Thank you, Wanda, for being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Lydia, and thanks to everybody who helped to organize this. And I'd like to say from afar. Thank you, Hillary, for your poetry, for your friendship, and for your amazing spirit. And I'd like to read a poem from her manuscript later on in the manuscript. It's called Conspicuous Thistle. Bristly purple, thistle hints, its thorny stalk, a presence impending, brings courage and pleasure. Now becomes a heightened haunting in my body, and then you loom nearby. Last summer, I drove my mother through New York State so I could finally see the place of my birth, the place I spent my first year on earth. Through curvy Catskill mountain roads, I stopped to check a map, then found wildflowers in a thistle next to forest. As I explored the road's edge, my mother waited in the car, afraid to get out, not trusting her knees and soles of her feet. So I snapped a photo and showed her the thistle. I'd never seen her so happy. And there's a note, Hillary wrote a note to that poem. She says, the poem Conspicuous Thistle refers to the painting Diana and Her Companions, and a quote by John Michael Montius, between the dog and Diana in Vermeer's painting, a conspicuous thistle is outlined against the more brightly lit side of a large rock. And that's a quote from John Michael Montius, author of Vermeer and His Milieu, page 145. And I like to read one poem of mine that reminds me of Hillary. My purpose is the poem. The poem is my purpose. See the beauty in the tree, the bark, the grass, the gritty street, a falling face. A backyard full of poetry greets me complete with wind whistling through holes in the bricks, shaping a high soprano melody. The video is shooting. The poets are reading. The actors are preening, and we sit in our lawn chairs watching, listening to the whirlwind roaring through the speakers, waiting for the next act. One woman has a wide-brimmed straw hat covered with flowers, and another wears white angel's wings and matching halo. There's wine in a box and a sky filling with words, memories, spirits of dead mothers and fathers and lovers, of junkies and streetwalkers and drunks, of many lives lived and constantly giving, stretching halos of forgiveness to maintain connection, erase the illusion of disconnection. They are beautiful beings, bright and shining, never resting, never stopping. The poem is their purpose. Their purpose is the poem. They land the lines, they get the laughs, a dialogue, a monologue, a destination, holding space for feeling, giving shape to a sensation, constructing an architecture of spirit. What road have you been on since the day you were born? Thank you.
I got the nod from Jeffrey, or as I call him, Jeffrito. He's my Jeffrito. I love him very much. Also because I met Hillary at one of Jeffrito's garden parties many, many years ago, and I thought that Hillary was a little forward to be so friendly, you know, in New York. Doesn't matter, I'm Puerto Rican, I've become very New Yorkan, or New Yorican, or whatever. At any rate, Jeffrey, it's a pleasure to introduce you. Thank you for introducing me to Hillary, and we love you.
Cuchifrito. I'm gonna lose my place here. Etude number 69. At Hillary's party, windows all open wide. Williamsburg Bridge, a black hulk with a red eye, breaches the raggedy skyline. Right off, I lie, telling Brooke, Neil knows letter to Parsifal. And then we all sing Summertime. Neil says he had pickled herring for lunch. And I say, I had creamed herring. Adding, and my favorite president was Harry Truman. And the Ouija board outs you. Says your favorite number is 69. I'll be a flute and you, the wind. Hillary, baby. Thank you. Ode to a Nightcap for Hillary. For Hillary Keel. The last party boat steers for Red Hook, strings of light webbing its stern, ghost eyes riveted in the water's black mirror. Home is a course we can only channel. Our nets come back alive with echoes. I miss you when brute tugs bellow, when a lusty foghorn bows its cello, when the Williamsburg Bridge trundles into slumber, its cables a giant harp. Dream until it hurts. Starburst. I've been onto you ever since meeting at the garden, your smile a beacon. Here's to you, fairy lover from Vienna, until the rabbit and top hat unite as one. Ah, what a muse she is, right? Hey. And now, from issue number 10, a poem by Hillary Keel, who's also in the new issue, which, shameless plug, will be at La Mama on November 1st, a Tuesday. And this is called Up To. 1. Today, I entered an elevator. Haley's breasts removed under the influence of a wind horse. My sister has no cancer. My son hasn't replied. I wrote my final exam essays on meditation, the 6 realms of fixation, wind horse, shamatha, and vipsayana, maitri. The Spanish woman gave me glass after glass of water and peppermint tea, and I fear for her impending marriage. Today, Bobby and Dee Dee met in my kitchen. We all laughed, drinking red rose. The girl dancer woman's eyes widen when I tell her stories of Vienna, Prague, of Vlasta. I love to teach. Blue bottle, little pumpkin in my kitchen. Have to go to Soho this week and stock up on cobbles and crystals for Sophie. Will Paul reply? I've found poems. I am certain I see myself in these verses of strawberry God, fishes, and northern chances. The morning's tarot card says I am stuck, no progress. Stood there waiting. Then in came the Colombian woman with the golden retriever on a leash. The doctor sealed us in. We elevated a few feet and jolted to a standstill. Up to 1. Hillary, baby. And if you would indulge me, you want to indulge me? Yeah, okay. Sharon, you fuck. Anyway, I hope I don't embarrass myself too much. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My soul's in tatters, I must make amends. Worked hard at living, living's been my friend. Oh Lord, 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 won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? Oh Hillary, dear, you blew in from the west, poetry on your lips and treasure in a chest. You worked hard at living, and your parties were the best. Lord, 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 parties were the best. Oh Lord, 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 your parties were the best. Oh Lord, 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 your parties were the best. Oh, Hillary, baby. Oh, well. Gives me great pleasure now to introduce a good friend of mine, the sage of the Rappahannock, the seer of the Secaucus, the zookeeper of infinity, and the hippest of the Hippocratians. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Short Poem himself, long life. You know who I'm talking about. Come on, Sparrow. Let's hear it for you, baby. Come on, Sparrow.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Thank you for that terrifying introduction. Very few people realize how closely connected to the Secaucus I am. When Hillary was living in the center of Williamsburg, my wife and I exchanged dwellings with her for 5 days. Soon after she reached our double-wide trailer in Phoenicia, New York, the power went out and stayed out for 3 days. I forgot to mention that this was midwinter. Hillary lived without heat day after day, covering herself with blankets, enjoying the luxury of quietude and non-electrical silence. I must say that Hillary is not much of a complainer. So this is her Sonnet of Silky Eves by Hillary. Sonnet of Silky Eves. The silk to line the glass, the fur, the cup, the waving sea of light to line the hour. A glimpse of velvet cap alights the brow, a basket full of sips to soothe the fire, sustain the fabric, colored textures glow. A swishing swirl of ease delights the mire, to fill the cells and enter you anew. I bring you thus and share my root desire for resting spines connecting vertebrae, the sway to blinking night where comets fly, to merge and tap the mounding earth of day. The branch's skin breathes blood and smears the dye. We slice the coiling membrane walls of leaves, designing furry rooms and silky eaves. So like Jeff, my introducer, I am a renowned singer, so I'm going to sing this healing song I wrote kind of recently. It's kind of I think it'll heal everyone, Hillary, and probably all of us. It's called Dots. It's, dots, little dots, like you make an eye, a small, what is it called? A small eye, and you put a dot over it. This is a little song about the beauty of dots. I love dots, lots of dots, polka dots, local dots, mocha dots. I love dots, and why not? Freckles and speckles and echoing dots. Dots are spots, spots are dots. Even some knots are a lot like dots. Dots, 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 dots. I love dots. Thank you.
I love dots, especially micro dots. Oh, yes. It's, before I introduce Lydia, we're going to pass the hat, and the hat is on the back, right? Don's sitting on the hat. Don, would you grab that hat and give it to Lori, please, in that white bag? Yes, Lori has reminded me. So for those of you who would like to donate online, there's the donate button on a lot of the announcements, and I think the URL is here, and post it around a little bit. And we're going to pass the hat like old school style. And you can say a little prayer when the hat passes you. And here we go. So I will just mention this while we're starting. We really appreciate Tompkins Square being here at the library for us to host these events. I know a lot of you have read here, in fact, and it's great to see everybody. The last time I saw Hillary, we were partying here, and then we went next door for a little while. So Lydia Cortés is a national treasure.
In which nation?
You're the first Funkerican I've known. And it's appropriate because actually Lydia's father, some of you probably know this, was the Energizer Bunny. Yeah, really, it's true. But her mom, this sort of mellows it out a little bit. Her mom was Neruda's niece. And you'll see that in the reading. There you go. Now I see it. I see the wisdom. All right. Please welcome Lydia Cortés. Boom, Lydia.
My father was a short order cook and dishwasher in a Jewish deli on Delancey. And my mother was a Dixie Cup factory worker, just to set it straight. First of all, I'd like to give thanks to Alyona, Our Lady of the Library, who has given us this wonderful space today. And then I'd really like to give so much thanks to Lori, who reached out to me. Lori Ortiz, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, reached out to me and she said, would you like to help me put a reading together? I didn't know it was for Hillary. I just said yes, but I didn't know it was for Hillary at the time. But Lori, thank you so much for having gotten this thing rolling, which needed to roll. And thank you for being so much behind the scenes and doing so much that may not show up, but we're showing up because of you starting it all. So thank you very much, Lori. It's wonderful. And I'm going to read a piece of Hillary's, which is from her manuscript, and it's actually the first piece. I've edited out a little bit, but anyway, it's called One Sometimes Travels. In Europe, a shift through rooms and rooms in great halls of paintings. I was an 18-year-old. A shift through rooms and rooms in great halls of paintings. I was an 18-year-old. The shock We were in a hurry. Didn't matter the deep breath, women in high heels. They wore blue jeans on furry rides to a continent. But the rooms were only there to look. No game, no drink, no ride. Early Christian conceptualists, surrealists, cubists, impressionists, Renaissance. One after another, how bodies changed shape. The flatness, one-dimensional, thick, creamy paint, bristly strokes, and large bodies, corpulent, fuzzy, fatty, slinky, the scenes, the sinew, little dots and specks of lights, eyeballs, the still lifes, a barroom to enter with mannequin bodies, clock faces, and college banner, more still lifes, shimmers from the Netherlands, waxy, wet and sour, lemons, poriferous rind, the bitter white skin and flesh, its sparkle of teeny, juice-filled teardrops, texture of membranes, lemon whole, lemon sliced, lemon wedges, lemons half peeled, and circling curlicue and dangles. On a platter, in a bowl with oysters, a water goblet with apples or grapes, or dropped onto a wooden table, plunk, ellipsoidal citrus, the masters did, Dutch, Flemish, of the Netherlands and Flanders, their dress, hats, necklaces, rings on fingers. One hears these voiced with lungs, palms, and soles of feet. One speaks Dutch. Second semester male lecturer wore a suit, painting after painting after painting with lights off, enthralled. I sat in darkness to the turn, the hum of a projector's light bulb magnetized, light flicked on, dreamy. I floated by the professor's desk. The Vermeer, I said. I love the Vermeer. His gaze went blank. Johannes, yes, he confirmed. Johannes didn't paint many, he took his time. But all are masterpieces. Every single one a masterpiece. He spoke, bored and restless. I was satisfied, every single one. National Gallery in DC from Virginia College. Apollinaires Les Mamelles de Tiricea. Vermeer's girl with the red hat. My dorm room wall, forget Klimt and his kiss. I wanted the soft, leathery red, the blue robes and wall tapestry, the light on her nose, lips, and tongue, light on her eyes and earrings. Vermeer painted a reflecting woman, herself knowing in motion, a moment mid-sentence. From Virginia to Vienna, where I'd meet the third man. Slowly, slowly, chocolate-covered chestnuts, heart-shaped, and some autumnal sense on the Ringstrasse. In the third man, Anna Schmidt says to the Holy Martins, a person doesn't change just because you find out more. She says this every week at the Boog Kino, just a block from the Art History Museum where Vermeer's masterpiece hangs. 20 years after, a train from Vienna to Paris with my 14-year-old daughter Sophie at my side, who knew my every breath, growing calculation and tension, genuine awe had turned to dull despair, eyes to coal, heart a sunken puddle. My daughter witnessed this. She watched my glibness. I wanted genuine, but messed it with waves of the hand, running, running, running. To this day, she decodes my breath, wonders if it's real. We meandered through Père Lachaise in search of Apollinaire's grave, the Louvre teeming with tourists, whispers in crowds, sitting on benches, no goal, but sensing, being your senses, wake up. There, aroused, relaxed, the joie, allowing ease among Dutch paintings, leading impressionists. A man approaches me, points to paintings, speaks soft English. You look like you just walked out of one of these. Points to something Dutch. Startled, my eyes widened, flustered. I am grateful. He sees it. He confirms what I see. Huh? I say, zone of genuine, crack of smile, a nod. He is vulnerable, polite, Australian, a plaid shirt, then backs off, falters, embarrassed, walks away. I am awkwardly warm. You'll never know just how much I love you. You'll never know just how much I care. And if I tried, I still couldn't hide my love from you. You ought to know, for haven't I told you so a million or more times? You went away, and my heart went with you. I speak your name in my every prayer. If there is some other way to prove that I love you, I swear I don't know how. You'll never know if you don't know now. Sing with me. You'll never know just how much I miss you. You'll never know just how much I care. And if I tried, I still couldn't hide my love from you. You ought to know, for haven't I told you so a million or more times? You went away, and my heart went with you. I speak your name in my every prayer. If there is some other way to prove that I love you, I swear I don't know how. You'll never know if you don't know.
Sweet. That was so sweet, Lydia.
Now I introduce people to the poetry.
Listen, I just want to make a couple of other announcements here. Well, that was something else. Yay, Lydia. And so Ann Waldman, no. Ann Waldman sent in a lovely note saying how she had known Hillary both in Europa and abroad too, in Vienna, right? And also George Wallison in a wonderful note talking about how she had brought this European class to our rowdy gang over here. That was really nice. And now we're hoping that a few people might want to. We have Lydia is going to introduce Hillary's special friends and writing group that she belonged to, and so let's hear one more time for Hillary. Yeah.
Hillary! Yay for Hillary!
I meant to say Lydia.
When I met Hillary and she was so friendly and I wasn't, she insisted on being friendly, and so I got friendly with her. And I got so friendly with her that I introduced her to my peer writing group, for whom I have a lot of respect. I've been with them for, all told, probably about 20 years, I guess, or more. We started out with Louis Warsh, and there was people before that also. At any rate, I introduced Hillary to the writing group, and I don't do that very easily because there's a lot of crappy people out there, and poets who don't deserve to be part of our group, you know. But anyway, but we find the best, and we found Hillary, and Hillary just fit right in, and everybody loves her, and I have to stop talking about her in the past tense because she's not in the past tense. But anyway, I'd like to invite whoever is here from her group, from our group, to say a few words. Karen, would you like to say something?
Hillary was a myth to me before I actually met her. I heard about this German-speaking fairy tale person, and I was very excited to meet her because I speak bad German, so I'm a little proud of that. But Hillary spoke good German. And we clicked, and she ended up living in my building, and we'd have long Habsburg, German, crazy wine things with my husband, Bob. Anyway, I wrote a little poem. I didn't realize it was for Hillary, but I stole a line from her, and then I asked her, and she said, okay. And she had bought these bright green Doc Martens, which they were beautiful, and I lusted for her green Doc Martens. Anyway, so this is a poem that references it. Woods outside my river. This snow seems fallen like a broigle. My window stares at snow down a steep hill. The woods in the snow, the kids. Then I was here in the snow, my shoes perfectly green. Snow begins, I buy green shoes. It was summer now, blowing. I knew the way to the river. I could smell water. The nose 3 molecules from the brain. My sky lime green. We have heat, we have a black hole, attain mass and gravity, amusement and melancholy. Days fill me, I find moss, continue. I thought if I could write it all down, like one of those large paintings of tiny figures scrambling for heaven. Thank you.
I'm going to read from a phone. I hate that when people do that, but I'm going to do it. Hillary, when Hillary sort of knocked us on our ear when she entered, she knocked me on my ear when she entered our group. You know, there's a way of living intellectually, in terms of history, in terms of literature, which is what we do, and there's a way of putting them into words and being scrupulous of how you put your words down, and in a way it takes over. And Hillary, and I feel sometimes stodgy about it. I feel too concerned about craft, even though our craft goes everywhere. Hillary wrote differently. Hillary thankfully wrote differently. She added so much by writing from connection to people. It was always that way with Hillary. It was never about craft. It was always about her associations. And to be, how valuable to have time present, what's past present, even what's future present. Don't we feel that way? Don't we feel that it's all here now, the totality of our experience, the totality of all of our experiences? But it's difficult to write from that and feel from that. I wrote a poem about, are my glasses on? Yeah, they are. Where's the poem? Oh, there it is. Unedited for Hillary. When you visit most weeks and write thinking, when you hear rhythms of bodies speak, when you read words that come from need, is it the sweats? Is it where the shaman dances? There are ways to get at, to know, that says body. What does flesh say today? Can there be time, all of it at once? How does one do love and desire outside alone? What are the parties where no one agrees on dress? What are the parties where everyone says everything? What are the person who says, I want to know you? What of the music that echoes, who are you? Who evokes, does not provoke? Can the word gentle be renewed, mean something? Tell me a story that you enter where you live, when resistance floats off, when I get looked at, so it's tantric, when I get looked at, here, all of us, here, all of us.
Is there anybody else who would like to say anything about Hillary?
While you're thinking about that for a second, let's thank everybody for coming out.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Flowering Prism, Wanda Phipps,
Yeah. Yeah.
the great Sharon Mesmer, all the wonderful superstars like Andre and Bill Vincent and Phil, and our audience, and Greg, Matt Proctor for filming, thank you.
Greg said I should show
Greg
this.
for doing the program. And Lori Ortiz for setting the whole thing up. And there are books for sale. Proceeds go directly to Hillary. And a quick story. So I met Hillary at El Sol Brillante Garden. And that was so cool because and when she said she'd just got here from Naropa, I was psyched to meet her especially, and knew we had a lot in common. We were going to see each other. And she came to the garden at Dias y Flores exactly 189 times. And then Lily White over here, the filmmaker, helped us make a film where Hillary's one of the biggest narrators in the film. And she was right there when they were trying to kick us out of the garden. They were digging up our plants, and we were holding hands and singing, we shall not be moved, and like a tree in the garden. And she wore the beautiful shirt, and she was in the play, too. Clubhouse on East 13th Street. And so, is anybody else who would like to come up and share any stories? Greg, you want to come up and say something? What are you doing? Oh yeah, do that. Oh yes. Here. Do this. And let's all cheer one more time.